Hey, thanks for clicking on this video. My name is Zaji, and today I want to share with you a little bit about some making things. In particular, I want to share with you about the things that I made in 2020 and just kind of talk about last year and my making journey. I guess we're going to be diving into that today. So if you're interested in knitting or sewing content, then I encourage you to subscribe to this channel and continue watching. So in 2020, I made 112 things. That number is just so crazy awesome to me. It works out to just about 9 things per month, which if I was making 9 things per month, that would be such a productive month, just such a happy month for me because I am happiest when I am making things. However, it didn't work out that perfectly. I did have lots of months last year where I really was either not supposed to be working on anything at all, or I just was not really feeling inspired for a number of different reasons. So I want to kind of go into some of the stats before I start talking month by month what I was getting into. So the thing I made the most last year was, of course, dresses. Of course it was dresses. I made 35 dresses, and these totals that I'm going to be talking about are going to include potentially myself, my daughter, and my husband, although obviously if you watch this channel, my husband's number is going to be on the lower end of things that I've actually made. My daughter and I actually compete pretty evenly on things. I make slightly more things for her because she's small, and I tend to batch make things for her at one time. The next most popular thing that I made was tops, and I made 23 of those. Then I made 16 knitted items, so that includes accessories like scarves, mittens, slippers, cowls, but it also does include sweaters and cardigans, and that number makes me so happy. 16 things I made. If you were to actually evenly spread that out, it would be a reasonable amount, although the majority of the things that I did knit last year all happened towards the end of the year because I did knit a lot of things for Christmas time. So 16 knit items. The next most popular thing after that is rompers slash jumpsuits slash jumper dresses. They just seem like a good category. Altogether, those are lumped up. Nine of those. The majority of which were actually for my daughter because I don't know, I just wasn't really feeling rompers and jumpsuits last year for some reason. Then I made a lot of swimsuits, so swimsuits slash underwear. So that's going to also be both between my daughter and myself. 8 of those. Some of those, so all of Nala's swimsuits I counted as one thing, and if it was a 2-piece for me, then I counted it as 2 things. Then I made the same number of pants slash shorts as I did make outerwear or like cardigan type items. And so these would be things that were sewn cardigans, not something that I knit up. So 7 pants, which shocks me a lot because I don't love wearing pants at all. So the fact that I made 7 of them kind of blows my mind that I made so many. And outerwear I'm super happy about because I really was trying very hard this year to increase the number of outerwear type things that I have made. I don't really know why, but I did want to make a lot more coats this year, and I'm happy that I did make a lot of coats this year. And then I made 5 bags, or like accessory bag kind of things. So 2 of them were wallets. I definitely made, and then I made 3 like purse kind of things. One of which went into my shop, and I sold, and I was very proud of that. And then another bag that I carry myself, and then another bag that I actually so dreadfully damaged because I'm careless and I don't know what happened there. But the thing I made the very least of was skirts, and that shocks me because it was the very first thing that I made for myself was a skirt last year. And so I don't know, I love wearing skirts, but I think I just loved wearing dresses a lot more. I love making them a lot more. I don't know, because I mean, it's nothing to make a skirt. I feel like a skirt's way easier than a dress, but I loved making dresses more than skirts last year. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the breakdown of month by month, how many things I made, and kind of just talk about some of the things that stand out in those months. And I, of course, will be putting pictures up of those as I talk through them so that you can kind of see what they look like. In January, I made nothing. And I know I made nothing in January because the studio that I'm in right now didn't have flooring. I don't think I had even painted the walls in here yet. I am still in the process of painting this room, and hopefully by next summer I can say that the rest of the things that needed to be painted in here are painted, but I didn't really have a good place in my house to work at. We were still kind of unpacking because packing got delayed because of my injury. We were still renovating, doing a lot of stuff into this house, and so I really didn't work on anything in January. I took that time to really just work as much as I felt comfortable working and just like on the house and things like that, but I didn't really do anything creative. Really started to feel that in February. So in February I made 3 things, which is more, but I'm just like, my gosh, now I think about it, I don't know. I was expecting February to also be 0, but I actually did make 3 things in February. I started the year off by knitting something for my daughter, which I thought was pretty sweet. So I was able to take that cardigan with me to Houston when we went home to visit, which was awesome. And it was so helpful to have that there. And really, you know, that's why I make things, is because I want them to be useful. I'm going to put it up. It's so small, and my daughter is adorable, and she's always just giving it absolute gold whenever I turn the camera on. But I also made a dress for my daughter. It was with a fabric from Think It Fabrics, which is one of my favorite fabric like design companies. She makes just such really cute like sets and panels and prints and things like that, and I'll leave that link down below. Then in February I made a skirt for myself, as I already said before, and you know, that skirt is super cute and I do love it, but it really didn't do anything for me creatively. It's such a kind of staple pattern. I just wanted to do a lot more. After I did that, I was like, oh my gosh, this was great, so now I want to do more. So I started to do a little bit more. In March I made 6 things, most of which again were for my daughter. I really just made mostly things for her, but I did make the first coat for myself, which is one of my favorites, which is the Anorak, which I've talked about, I feel like now in every single YouTube video that I've posted on this channel. That was definitely one of my fave things that I made. I did make things for my daughter, but you know, the coat was the best thing for me because I didn't have anything that was even remotely warm. So being able to have that jacket was awesome, and still is awesome. Such a useful piece to have, and so I was really proud to make that. I was really loving browns at that stage, and it just, even still, makes my mouth water. It's so chocolatey. But then Me Made May came around, and this is where things take a turn. And this is where I can personally say that my anxiety was at its all-time highest. This was at the point where I realized, like, hey, I'm going into surgery at the end of this month and I may not be able to make anything for so long. So I was in super hyper overdrive. I don't think that I really slept at all in May. And I don't really think that I really did anything that was not sewing or cutting or something related to making things. So I was really excited to just get a bunch of things done before my surgery, and I really did that. I made 15 things in May, so I really ramped up the productivity and really started to I guess focus more so on making things for myself, because at this point throughout the year I had only really been making things for my daughter. I made a top for myself here, or a jacket for myself there, maybe a purse or something, but I didn't make anything to wear. And that's really the most important things to me, is the garments. Like, yes, I love jackets and stuff, but I love dresses and love dresses. So I wanted to just make a lot more of those in May. So I did that. I really started to kind of play around with other things for myself. I tried out a lot of new patterns that I really do love and that I think I'm going to be making more of this year. Some of them I'm going to definitely be repeating. I just love like all the, like looking at the photos of these, like just thinking about like how proud I was of myself for being able to make them. But I was in a ton of pain the entire month because I had to overcompensate with other parts of my hand and my other hand and my right hand to be able to do a lot of this stuff. So it really caused a lot of stress on the other parts of my body involved in like sewing and knitting to be able to do these things. But I was so happy to make them because I really was just like, what's gonna make me not feel like so sad that I'm not able to knit or I'm not able to sew? And I was like, being able to wear things that I have made, not feeling regretful or remorseful that I didn't make more before the surgery, which is not the best thought process to have, I'm sure, but it is kind of where my head was at. And I could definitely see that because I had made a new thing to share almost every other day up until the 21st. For me, that was just amazing. I had no idea that I was going to be able to do so much, and this was what really showed me, like, if I want to, I can. And now I've kind of started to refine my sewing process and my knitting process so that I'm able to be the most productive that I can be. And in May, I really learned a lot about my own abilities. I really tested my precision and my accuracy during that time because I was trying to make things fast, but I didn't want to make things that were just like horribly put together and didn't look nice. I still made a lot of really high quality items, in my opinion, that are still lasting through washes, still lasting through me wearing them. Like, I wore some of these things to death, like absolutely to death. I made a lot in May, so when June came around, I didn't make really anything. The 18th was, I think, when I was officially actually able to do something with my hand, to actually do anything that involved other parts of my hand. I still couldn't use my thumb, but I could use my fingers and things like that because I'd gotten like all of the casting and everything off. It was just me and my splint. And so I made a swimsuit for my daughter because I love swimsuits, and those are one of the happiest things that I do make. I do love making dresses, but I love making swimsuits more. And I made a little set for my daughter. Then when July came around was when I was actually cleared to start trying to do things with my thumb again. This was when my physical therapist was like, take it slow but listen to your body. And I was like, you don't know me. So in July, I made 18 things. I made 18 things in July. That was when I finally got cleared to start making things. I was like, yeah, what? It's been so long. You know, I don't want to go back in the progress that I made with my thumb, but I was just like, listen, it has been a month since I've really been able to make anything. So in July, I started making things. I started back testing things. And that was just, I made so many fun things that month. And I was in love with all of the things that I was making because I was just happy to be making something. So everything that I could make, I did make. I made a Marcel dress, which is, I think I actually made the Marcel dress before. I think I made the Marcel dress quite a bit before, and she released it later on. But that was when I shared it with you all. And because I'm pretty sure I was wearing that dress to death after my surgery, so I'm pretty sure it was already made. I think it was like one of the last things I actually made before, but I love that dress. And I even made a tank top version of that dress too, and I think that this year I'm going to make another one because that dress is so cute. And then August came around, which is myself and my daughter's birthday month. In August, I actually made 14 things. My birthday is August 14th. In August was when I think I was actually able to start knitting again. So I did make a lot of things for our birthday. Like, I made a matching outfit set for my whole family. So for my husband and my daughter and myself, we all had matching outfits to wear to the zoo for our birthday. And then I also had made a dress specifically for my daughter for her to wear on her birthday. And then I had a dress that I made specifically for myself to wear on my birthday. And then I made a couple other things just for Nala to have. But for the most part, I think I did make things for myself on my birthday month. And so that was awesome. And I actually started knitting my favoriteest cardigan, which you also have seen. And I also started making, I made the hat, which I don't think you've seen yet, but I'll put it in this video because I think you will have seen it on my Instagram. I'll put that up as well. This was the point when I felt like I was really able to start to do things normally, in the sense that I'm able to do things and not be in pain, which is a huge difference from the beginning of the year, because I was still making things, but it pained me to make them. It was uncomfortable, and it also was just very sensitive. It was very stressful for the rest of my body. So I really didn't love making those things. So my productivity at the beginning of this year was so much lower. But after I was finally cleared to start doing things again, I went into overdrive again. But this time it's awesome because I'm not hurting while doing it. So in September I made 11 things, and that was my wedding month. So some of the things that I think are involved in September were also happening in August, but just they weren't really finished until September, I think. Because I had started making my wedding dress already in August. So September came around and I decided I was going to make all the things for my entire wedding party, because I was like, I'm not in pain, so why not do it? And so I wasn't in pain, so I did do it. I made my wedding dress, I made my husband's reception outfit, I made my daughter's reception dress and her flower girl dress. I also made a small clutch bag that I took with me. Oh, I didn't even put that into the total. But I did make a small clutch bag, so technically it's 113 things, but I'll just leave it at 112. Anyway, so I made that clutch bag all for my wedding, and I think I made them all within a span of about 2 months, which I designed and put together. I did a lot of research prior to that, but yeah, I was so excited to make my wedding dress, and it just jazzed me up to make a lot more other things. So I loved September. September was such a great month. It was actually the month where I did finish my cardigan that I made from Kim Hargraves, because I wore it. I wanted to be able to finish it in time to wear on my wedding weekend, because we spent it up in the mountains. And in September it is already starting to get a little bit cool. So I wanted to be able to have a cardigan to wear while we were up there for our honeymoon. Very happy that I was able to finish that as well. So it was a super, super productive month, and I have just really loved a lot of the things that I made in September. Okay, so this is Afterthought Zaji popping in because holy, my camera did not record the end of the year, and I didn't want to just leave you all hanging at all. So I'm going to be filming the rest of that video now and adding it in. So I'm sorry if the lighting is different and my makeup and everything is different, but I wanted to go ahead and add this in so that you would be able to, I guess, still hear the full recap of the year. So we're going to go ahead and get into October. October for me was kind of a weird month because I was working at a job. My hours were completely different, so it was really difficult for me to make time to get into the studio, and I felt like whenever I was in here, I wasn't really working on things that excited me nearly as much as all of the things that I made in September. And I don't know, I made a lot of really cute things that month. Like I made a really cute little pants jumper for my daughter, and that is still my favorite thing ever. I love seeing her in there with her little pockets. One of my favorite things that I made from the month. However, a lot of the things that I was sharing in October weren't things that I made in October. It took me quite a long time to make that jumper because I don't know, I had lost the enthusiasm again. I mean, how could you top your own wedding dress? I mean, you can, obviously, but I'm not making anything nearly as, you know, fancy or as special as any of the outfits that I made in September. So I wasn't making a whole lot. In October, I made 6 things. So I'm still, which is so weird to say because I know a lot of people make, you know, 6 things in a month, and that's a lot of things they're able to get done. But just for me, I know that was a sad month for me. I wasn't inspired. I'm not gonna say sad. I just wasn't as inspired to create at that time. And I really wasn't able to make time in my schedule to really be in my studio how I like to be and really be able to spend the amount of time that I want to in here at a time. So it was just kind of like a meh month. I was making stuff, but you know, I wasn't really so excited about the things that were on my table at the time. November came around and I really started to feel a lot more energized to make things because I started making videos on YouTube again, and it was just so cool to me to be able to do that. And it was exciting for me to, I guess, make things to show you all or to share with you all, and I was inspired to start creating things again. And so I made quite a bit in November. You can look at my November plans video, which I will have linked so that you're able to see what I did make in November. It was extremely productive. I made 19 things in November. So I made the most things when I started back making YouTube videos. I think we can tell that I love doing this. I'm so happy to do it again. It really makes me want to make a lot of things. November was quite busy. Some of my favorite things that I made in November were the Thanksgiving Day dress that I made for my daughter. She was so cute in that. She loved that. She still wears that dress all the time. I also made that puffer coat for her, which is so cute, and I was so happy to be able to make that. She still wears that. It's still hanging in there. It's still super warm for her. A lot of the things that I made are now pretty well staples. Like, I've cut out a lot more of this pattern, the 9019, which is like a loungewear pattern. It was the first time I've actually made like legit loungewear, because I don't typically make things like that, but I actually wear that one with the sunflowers all the time. So I went ahead and bought more fleece, and I have that ready to go. And this was kind of the last month that I really was making things for me, because in December I made a few things for me at the beginning of the month, and then like a huge turn into the opposite direction. I didn't really make much for myself at all in December. And I did make 13 things in December. The only thing that I made for myself were, I made 3 things. I made the bodycon dress, which I have a video up for. Yeah, I made that skirt in December. Like, I finished it so I was able to wear it in December. It was technically sewn in November. So I don't know that the only thing I did in December was to hem the skirt. I made also a sweater for myself, which was a sweater that I had also planned to make in November, but I just barely eked it out in December. After all of the Christmas things were done and everything was sent off, I started working on things for myself again, and I finally finished the cardigan that I started in August. And I finished this sweater, which was awesome. I finished that. And so it was just like things kind of really took a huge turn after that point. I was experiencing so much excitement and so much joy about being able to start knitting things for myself again and sewing things up for myself again. And I'm still very, very, I know I've said excited a lot, but I am very excited to make more things for myself. So this is my 2020 recap. Let me know down below how many things you made this year, and if you're surprised by that number. I was very surprised by the number of things I was able to make, and looking back, doing this recap, I'm seeing a lot of, how my emotions really played in what I was making, and a direct correlation to my happiness with, me being able to express myself creatively by sewing or knitting, and just seeing that, I really do love what I do. I love making, I love creating. That is where I am happiest. And so I'm hoping to go into 2021 and continue making things that make me happy, continuing to not limit myself on, what I'm making, and continue to revel in the joy that I really get from creating not only, garments and clothing and accessories and things like that, but also making YouTube videos, because I saw that it really inspires me to be able to create things and share them with you all. And I really just want to keep doing that this year and continue to grow in this craft, and all the crafts that I'm getting into. So let me know, what you made down below. Is it a shocking number? Were you surprised by how many things you made? Or were you pretty much aware of what you were doing? I was kind of all over the place just trying to make it work, okay? And I am still just so very proud of what I was able to accomplish. So I hope to continue bringing you lots of creative content, lots of sharing of all the things that is going on creatively in this household. So if you are interested at all in the content that I'm talking about and the content that you've seen on this channel, I encourage you to subscribe, please, 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 and share, please, please, please. And I'm gonna love you and leave you right there. Have a great day. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.